And now we're diving deep into the enigmatic ocean of Botpress, a chat platform that is so sophisticated it makes James Bond look like a fumbling newbie.
Emotional, damn it!
Botpress is like a nerdy kid at school who not only gets all the answers right, but also tends to store them just in case he needs it for the next quiz. This WizKid will send those brainy bytes to your database, Airtable, Google Sheets. Botpress cooks out some fantastic AI dishes. Functionality is still evolving and they don't have everything figured out yet.
I just joined the dad team and I'm still learning all these plays.
That's where the execute code function comes in. This is a secret sauce that connects Botpress with Langchain directly.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
We'll connect it with Botpress and we'll try to combine the best of both worlds and create the best AI chatbot you ever seen.
Nice.
We're going to make this journey funnier than a cat video on the internet, breaking down each step with dose of humor that'll make even your brain cells chuckle.
Boring.
Let's talk greenbacks. Some solutions like Stack AI might lure you in with their shiny tech toys, only to reveal their true colors once you built your castle. After all the blood and sweat and code, they spring their trap, a hefty $200 a month bill.
Ah, you're teasing me, naughty, naughty.
We will be reusing this Flutter part, Botpress Studio. Let's start from a template, and they say basic empty. Yeah, that's a great idea. Start, end. All right, so this is the beginning of our chat. This is the end of our chat. And in between, we're gonna be populating something really fun.
Few moments later.
All right, so this is like a greeting text, okay? Okay, here you go. And we'll call this text hello. So you basically say, hi, I'm your AI assistant. And here is the first one. I'm here to answer any questions. You will ask them, it's called a card, it's called single question. The answer to this question, you could actually store in your chat. Here you say, select variable, purpose off. All right, so basically any choice they make will be stored in the variable called purpose off.
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
And the third one will be create a bot for me. Okay, currently you see there are 3 different little thingies. So basically saying if I choose this, the chat flow will take me to the next node, or right, the next card. If I choose this one, it'll go to, basically if I choose more YouTube tutorials, it'll take me to the next card. So we could just make this, they're just not going anywhere. I'll just do more YouTube tutorials, and this thing will be just taking us to the YouTube channel. All right, but let's work on the main path, like the main logic of this bot, and create a bot for me. We could create the next one, right? And let's just see how it looks like. You could check your bot over here. So you see, hi, I'm Sim, your friendly automation assistant. I'm here to answer any of your questions. What brought you here? And you see it gives you the choices. We'll say create a bot for me. It doesn't do anything, but you see it says captured variable in purpose off. So let's create a path for next one. So you see, as you pull, it says standard node, and here you'll say, we'll call this node type of bot, because as an AI agency, what we want to know is what kind of bot the client need, right? A text. So we want to have a little encouragement. We'll create another single choice, right? And this single choice, we will ask a question, all right? So what bot are you looking for? Okay, so we have 2 variables. All right, so I'll call this variable bot purpose service bot. All right, so this is going to be customer service bot. Depending on what bot the user chooses, we will have a different flow. Okay, so there are 2 alternative flows, but our flow is not going to change whether we say this or not. Our website, right? We're just going to use it as part of the variable in order to send that to our database or Google Sheets, whatever. So you'll unclick this and you will over here you'll put expression. If the statement evaluates to true, you move on to the next step. all right, to the next card. If the statement value is to false, it kind of stops. All right, so since we want to we don't care about there is no logic here, we're just basically moving on to the next step. We'll just put this true. Workflow. So this whole thing is called workflow. So basically, if the variable called Botpress type of Botpress, this one over here, okay, if this variable Botpress equals to customer service bot, you add to the next message, according to the studies, you can save some major dollars and increase customer satisfaction by incorporating a customer service to your bot. So you're basically saying, okay, if the user you chose Botpress, this is the answer. And if the user chose website sales bot, this is the answer. Okay. And if the user, let's see, you could have achieved the same functionality if you basically if you would have added this different paths, but then the whole scenario would be a little bit more crowded. All right, so because it's such a easy thing, instead of basically splitting, you could just create the if else statement and execute code like this. Here, where you have plus equal, it's operator that basically just adds your information to this string, all right, to this variable next message. We do not have a variable next message yet, so what we could do, we just could copy it, and then you say, you see, it says variables. Right now we have Botpress and purpose off. We'll just say we have another variable next message and its type of string. So string, as you know, is just like words, right? So type of words. We executing code first, then, all right, so here you could just mention the variable you want to place in here. So it's very common functionality in any programming language. Basically, you'll just call the variable and it comes up. You will give the user two choices. Too expensive for what you're getting, especially maybe for like a large corporation that doesn't really care about the money, it's okay. But for a person who is trying to start the AI automation agency and do it for a local laundromat or a local small business, this will make more sense, because then the extra $200 you could just put in your own savings account. All we want to do is just save this into the variable. Okay, the variable will be AI stack, right? And here basically, so there are no other different paths, but we want to move to the next stack, I mean to the next card, right? So in order to do that, or node, same thing, in order to do that, we need to have an expression that evaluates to true. Okay, evaluates to true, and which means that we're actually gonna go and move on to the next step. We will use a switch statement. Actually try to understand how this works. Just come to ChatGPT, and it's been such a big difference in my learning. So as you're going through this tutorial, make sure if you don't understand something, put it in ChatGPT, have a conversation, ask questions, and it'll be awesome. Web sales, but Flowise render. Okay, and then it says smart choice to build web sales bot. It's much cheaper to build this way, and you will have no problem paying for your rent next month.
Don't have the money.
So here, basically, that's what we hear. We basically told the user that they won't have problem paying for rent next month. And now next question should be, is now we want to know what the user's budget is, right? Gonna do here, you know the answer. It is single choice. And what's your budget? Is single choice. Yay. All right, so let's go. So what's the answer? Less than 1,000. So we'll save this to the variable, none of these, because it's a new one, right? It's a new type of information. So let's call it a client budget. So you see, if we don't write true, this is the, well, expression, and basically you write true. If we didn't have this, there wouldn't be no connection, okay? So you could not move on to the next step. If you say, sure, let's do it, we are going to send him to we're gonna basically create a appointment, and we'll add another single choice and say, do you have any questions regarding the next steps? Do you have any questions regarding the next steps? If the user says yes, okay, let's create a node that will serve the yes answer, okay? And then this node, you say check knowledge. So Botpress has this thing, it's called check knowledge, where the platform itself can answer your questions, okay? So here we'll basically say a question. What would you like to know? So this is a single choice question, and we'll save that as a question variable. So the answer to this question will come up as a question variable. All right. And what to ask user. So this is going to be the message. What would you like to know? We will have to save it. But since there are no choices, how are we going to do it? So this thing is called raw input. So basically whatever the user say is gonna save into the question variable. Okay, so that's how that works. And the next step, and it's going to evaluate again if the knowledge itself, knowledge can answer questions. But if you cannot answer question, this is where the interesting part starts. We gonna call Flowise. Flowise. All right. So how do we do that? So we are gonna execute code. We're gonna execute code. And what code is that? All right. So I looked into the Botpress API documentation, and okay, so basically this Axios post, okay, and Flowise information we got from our Flowise. Okay, so this is the tricky part, so pay attention. This is the tricky part. All right, so curl. All right, this is your information that you're pulling. Okay, and then we're using this format. So there's, you put URL comma, right, and after comma again as just API of Botpress. I didn't know how to do it. I just had to look at, and then workflow.api response, await API response. So if you do have API, add a new key, and we'll just create a new key. We'll call it YouTube. Okay, and we'll just go back, save. All right, so curl is say YouTube, right? So we'll say this is authorization bearer. You just kind of copy this part. Okay, this key I already deleted. Okay, so I put this key over here. So in 5 lines of code, then whatever response comes from this call, we're gonna take a variable API response, and we'll save it, and whatever you get from there, from the Flowise, in this variable called API response. Okay, so it is important to remember that we don't have that variable. So what we do, we create that variable. Okay, because otherwise we'll have nowhere to save the response. All right, we are done. We're pretty much done with the whole thing. So kudos to you guys. You kind of survived this.
I feel dizzy.
We'll create a text. Let's see. Okay, well, we'll create a text thing. And here we'll say, what we're gonna say? Well, we want our API response, correct? So basically all we're just gonna do, we'll just write the API response in there. And if all is good, and then we'll basically say, let's move on, right? So we'll just evaluate this to true. So we could go to the next question. All right, so after we answer this question, we'll ask again, hey, do you have any more questions? And this whole thing basically repeats itself over and over and over. If you say, no, I don't have any questions, okay, what we are going to do, we are going to, well, when you say no more questions, what we're gonna do, we're gonna end this chat. Okay, well, there is an end button somewhere. I think I lost it here. Here you go. So if there's nothing going on, we'll just end this whole thing. Okay. The person doesn't have any questions. What we could do in this situation, we could just end this and just put it to the end. Okay. Yeah, this is just really, so you got to create this. You got to create this one by one because it gets a little bit finicky. And then next step will be, all right. So it becomes sure, email me the info. And here we will need to ask the person information. So this is where the power of Botpress is that it's not just going to have a conversation with your client or your users. It actually could collect information and send it to the database. This is the biggest selling point. Okay.
This is my favorite one so far. Nice job, team.
So here we'll say single question. And the question to ask the user what their name, what's your name, single choice, person, name. Then you want a second choice, second question, 2, email address. So if the person writes a phone number in there instead of email, we're not gonna like it. Sending information to Zapier, hook, and then in Zapier you set up how this information gets treated. So I have a zap over here. It's called Botpress to Sheets. Okay, and basically you have the trigger. It's called webhooks by Zapier. You're gonna look, and it's called catch hook. You will write your hooks Zapier. Pick a child key. All right, it's probably you don't want to see that. And then you select Google Sheets. You create your, you will use the events called create spreadsheet row. Make sure you do that. Make sure when you're creating sheets, you write the columns. Okay, you gotta name your columns so Botpress so Zapier knows where to put information. And so you have first name, last name, email, bot type, bot stack. Here you go. It's really, really important. Okay, very important stuff. All right, so we have worksheet, first name, last name, email, and bot type customer service. All right, so that's if this code executes, make success equals true. Okay, so it returns true, and we move on to the next step. Okay, okay, and we'll say we evaluate this condition, workplace makes true. So if everything worked accordingly, it saves the information as workplace. I mean, as make success, and make success, we just evaluate it to true statement, meaning it was successful. And if it was successful, we move on to the next step. Boom. And in text, we'll say, get excited. Oh, sorry. In here, we'll say this. Get excited because someone from AI team will contact you in the next 24 hours. It is exciting.
Hello guys, it's Jovan, and you know what time it is?
And here you go. Always, and we'll just do this true. All right. And then we'll basically ask if you have more questions, and this whole thing repeats itself. Okay. And if you have, and then we'll just need to evaluate more questions. No. So if that person says, no, I have no more questions, we basically we're gonna end the conversation, and we're gonna end the conversation by putting it over there. Sorry. Okay. So let's check. It looks fairly cool. All right. So let's test it out. Hey, create a bot for me. Customer service. Flowise. Yes. I need a Bentley level, but sure, let's do it. If you have any questions, email me the info. What's your full name? Is AI Sim Squad. What's your email? Is model at sim.com. And do you have any more questions? No. All right. So let's see. And here's a drum roll. Okay. Let's see if it worked. AI Sim Squad. Yeah! I'm using the Zapier. This is, I think, it's a free Zapier account. So all this stuff is free. So you could basically create prototypes, show your clients you have nothing to spend on this, and then once they start paying, you add an extra $30, you collect $1,000 on your end, and here you go. This is how it's done. Super easy, super simple. I hope you're gonna have a great day. Stay classy, love yourself. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and ask me questions. I'm here to help you guys to figure out how to run this AI agencies and stuff, but I'm not gonna charge you for this. I just want to create these tutorials transparently, free. Just make the best of it. Hopefully you guys prosper, make as much money as possible. Okay, so good luck, and follow, subscribe for more.